What's up, everybody? Construction. You can find us on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram with Yost Comp and
Purple Nip Tits,
as well as
peanut butter
from horrorharbor.tumblr.com. Today's film is
The Fog, 1980.
The Fog, 1980. An unearthly fog rolls into a small coastal town exactly 100. Oh, that's 100 years after a ship mysteriously sank in its waters. Written by and directed by
I'm impressed with
John
his pronunciations.
Carpenter,
Me
as well
too.
as Deborah Hill wrote it as well. Starring Adrienne
Deborah
Barbeau,
Hill.
or should I say Adrienne Barbells in a bra. Anyway, my laugh changed. That was
Are you
scary.
80 years old?
Jamie Lee Curtis, Janet Leigh. Wow, they're listing all the women first. Good for them.
Because they're better.
It's her time. It's her time to be in a John
That's
Carpenter
right.
movie. Let's see. Also, John Houseman, Tom Atkins, and James Canning, and a bunch of other people.
Weird seeing
Hal
Tom Atkins
Holbrook.
this young.
Yeah, I know. When he invented that. You know, he invented that diet, Danny. That's interesting, right? The
No, he
Atkins diet?
didn't.
Oh, that's right. That was another guy. So this is part of Thea's time of the month, and I think this time Danny actually picked it because Thea
did.
stupidly or smartly gave
right.
him two choices.
I deserve
These
those
terrible
choices.
movies.
My
You don't
birthday
need
is
to-
that.
It's his
shit.
birth month as well.
Oh,
You should pick all four in your birth month, Alex.
Yeah.
But you couldn't
We
do
don't
it.
do the show on January. So
That's
fuck
his
you.
celebration,
You're an asshole
Thea.
then, I guess.
We take the month
That's
off,
how he celebrates.
so I don't have to listen to Danny's voice while he's in a third
Too
world
bad.
country. So Danny, why'd you pick The Fog?
Because I've never seen it, and it's a classic.
There you go.
That's it. What's your rating for this film? Oh, we gotta
Soon.
talk about
That's
it, right?
very soon.
Oh,
We have
okay,
to
so
talk
John
about
Carpenter-
it first.
So obviously,
Yeah.
John Carpenter is a well-known cult cinema master for
He's
his
a
films
cult
like
leader.
for his great films like Halloween, as well as
The Thing.
The Thing,
Thing. They live.
Ghosts, The Ward, Ghosts of Mars,
Prince of Darkness.
Halloween.
2. No, he didn't
Halloween
do it
2.
Do you-
Did he
imagine
direct
there's
it?
a Jewish Halloween called Halloween, and it's just everybody dresses up like Challah.
I'm telling you, there's a movie called Stan
Yes.
Helsing where like it's Van Hel. It's like a parody movie, and they're fighting every monster from every horror film. And the Michael Myers in that film, without any explanation, has a yarmulke on.
I thought you were going to say, is Mike Myers.
Well,
from
that'd be-
Canada.
You know what's
But-
weird? I saw Mike Myers at an Alice Cooper concert recently.
Really?
Yeah,
Was
he
like,
went up on
selling
stage at
peanuts?
the end and was doing his bowing thing like he does in Wayne's World.
Oh, God.
Oh wow!
Like the "We're not worthy."
I heard he's an incredible bitch. Like in
I
real
don't know
life,
what
he's an
happened to him.
incredibly
I'm very
like.
sad.
He tells people not to look him in the eye and stuff like that on set. He's like a real
That's
piece
weird.
of shit. That's not nice. Anyway, The Fog, directed by John Carpenter. Let's lay down what is this story about? As I surreptitiously asked Danny because he always gives a horrible, long-winded answer. But what is this movie about, Danny?
Yes.
This is about a town that was built by a priest fucking over lepers apparently and stealing their
Word.
money.
Lepers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't it ship people, like guys on a
They were
ship?
No,
they
it was
were
lepers
How do you
on the
not
ship.
Catch this. They were lepers.
pays
They said it
attention.
multiple times.
Do you
It
think I
shows
actually
their
have to watch
fucking
these
body
movies?
parts falling off. Anyway, they're lepers. So now
Damn, Alex.
it's 100 years later and they're going to get revenge because they
That's
want their
right.
magical gold coins that change into wood,
They do.
right? That's
think so.
that's a pretty accurate
No, that's
thing.
accurate. That is fully accurate.
And
So
they
this
come
is
in the
an-
form of fog.
So this movie is an ensemble piece. It has a lot of recognizable actors in it, at least from the 80s. Was this before?
Slash from other John Carpenter movies.
Was this
Yeah, mostly.
this Halloween was when 1977?
I think so.
Jamie
That
Lee
sounds
looks
correct.
actually younger
No,
here than
78.
she does in. She looks younger here than she does in Halloween for some strange reason.
It's because she's next to an old man for most of the movie.
And she takes those old nuts in the movie. I tell you that.
She
And What was
does.
that thing
That's
about
right.
Jamie Lee Curtis that she was born with both sex organs? Remember
I
that?
heard that. I think that's just stupid.
No, people get. Born
I've heard
with
that, and
though.
I feel like people assign that because she had short hair in the 80s and 90s, so...
And people try to
I
play
know.
off like she wasn't totally hot in True. What was that movie?
True
True
Lies. She was super hot in that.
Oh yeah, I remember
it's
watching
because
it. Wow.
I think it's because when she had short hair, a lot of women also found her attractive. So people were like, "Oh, well, she has both sex organs, so that's just not valid, I guess."
And
as,
thankfully,
like, being gay.
now she'll be back in the Halloween movie, so she doesn't have to sell that old people shit yogurt. You know, where you got to eat that yogurt so you can take a nice
Yeah.
shit.
Activia.
Yeah.
Did she sell
anyway.
yogurt?
Yeah,
I love her whatever yogurt she sells.
Yeah, she was
Oh,
actually
wow.
really good in that show too, Scream Queens, the first season. Then the second season was an abomination on television. So anyway, this movie also has John Carpenter's ex-wife Adrienne Barbeau. I never was.
I
In,
That's
did
his
not know they were
ex-wife?
married.
Good for
That's
him.
Crazy.
yeah, I never knew. Like, I never was into her.
Yeah, good for him,
I never was
yeah.
into her because she has that weird sort of hairstyle. But in this one, she's really fucking smoking hot. She's also a very good actor. And John Carpenter knew what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Oh,
She, it's so funny because John Carpenter, I think he's actually in the movie. I didn't know it until my friend.
Is he?
Yeah, he's the guy that's working for the priest in the beginning, and he asks to get paid.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And my friend said he's a
but
terrible
so
actor.
young.
So is that
And
like
then-
foreshadowing that the priest
I mean, he's in
is
it for
weird with
5
money?
minutes.
I guess.
I mean, but he's never mentioned again, like, because he disappears, and then
Yeah,
also.
he literally doesn't need to be in the movie at
And
all.
Adrienne Barbeau like has a photo of him with the kid, but she never mentions the husbands or anything. Unless I guess
Right.
they must have got a divorce, but she has a photo of him at the house, you know, which is really strange. I guess
Do you
it's
think
maybe
she
for the kid.
masturbates to the photo?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Well, at least
Maybe he's
in this
dead.
one. Could be. But also, like, he mentions his band, the Coupe de Villes, in the movie. So, if you ever
I
seen
didn't
Big Trouble in
I
Little
didn't realize
China,
that
the
either.
theme song is by the Coupe de Villes, and it's got the strangest music video to just see John Carpenter singing, like, as a rock star. It's very strange.
Right.
And also, but yeah, Adrienne Barbeau was great. She was in Swamp Thing, I guess another John Carpenter film.
She was also
I only
in Creep
saw-
Okay,
So-
but can we talk about how she was also in one of my favorite shows of all time called Carnival?
Oh, was she?
Oh, yeah,
She's
you're right.
like 40 or 50, and she's like the hottest thing I've ever seen, and it's great.
Yo, her
Yeah, I
voice
went
is
to-
like
Go
so
watch
sexy
that.
too.
Yeah,
So good.
I found that she was on it by looking up her nudes, so that was good stuff. Anyway, there's also Janet
She's
Leigh,
so
who is
gorgeous. She's
Jamie
great.
Lee Curtis's mom. She was also the woman from Psycho,
Oh,
the one who gets
really?
stabbed right up the ass.
Her
That's
mom.
right.
Her mom, really?
Her mother
Yeah.
is Jamie. Her mother is Janet Leigh, and her father is Tony Curtis. And Tony Curtis sounds like if you've ever, he's an actor. I think he was in Spartacus. He sounds like, you know, that the gay pink lion from the cartoons. You know what's his name?
No.
Wait, what?
Exit stage left. I forgot that guy's name.
Oh shit!
Pink
I don't remember his
Panther?
name either, but I know. I
Not
know what you
Pink
mean.
Panther. Pink Panther doesn't talk.
No, I know
you
what you mean.
asshole. But anyway, she's a star of two sort of film icons, and they both sort of look. Well, not her. I mean, but Tony Curtis. I think people thought he was gay. What am I talking about? Anyway, so Thea,
He looks like
give
Tom
us a little.
Hanks.
Give us a little bit about
Snagglepuss.
Yes, it just came to
Oh,
me.
okay, I know Snagglepuss.
So with this film, apparently this movie had a different ending, or it was terrible, and John Carpenter came back and shot more for the film.
Look at him.
Because
shaving
I
his
like-
head.
Either.
I like this film, but there's definitely stuff missing from it that would have made it a lot better. And it seems like it goes to places where it doesn't take advantage of
They
it.
really jump to conclusions in this. Like they see some fog,
They
it's
do.
kind of weird, and they're like, "Get out of there!" Like full freak out. Like how do they know anything's wrong?
To one degree, I do like that they jump around between storylines, and because for an avid horror fan, it's kind of like, okay, well, I know what.
Yeah,
the
we're
deal
stuck with
is.
one person sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also like I know where this is going.
But how do they
like,
know
the
where
movie's
it's
called
going?
The Fucking Fog, but I don't know. I feel like because half of them know. I mean, they must all know the stories. I think that
guess.
could have been communicated better. That they have all grown up with that story because they start the movie out with that old man telling all the kids in town
Right.
the story of how 100 years ago.
He
Was
just
that
doing
the
basic setup.
priest's dad,
like
by
a
the way?
ship crashed into the rocks and whatever. But like,
Yeah, I don't know. That opening sort of had like characters that don't show
It's
up in the
weird.
rest of the film. So
yeah,
they should
well,
have
it's
like.
only the kid.
I can imagine that old man going, well, if you little boys are scared, two of you can fit into my sleeping bag with me. You know,
Oh,
pants are
boy.
optional.
Father Malone.
All right, very
Oh
funny.
no! Don't do this.
that's the bread and butter of our podcast. What are you talking about?
Don't
Like
do
that.
this.
I don't approve of any
They're
of this.
simply platonic sleeping. You freaks. Anyway,
Okay.
so yes, it starts out with this lore of the haunted house. Well, not haunted house story, but spooky campfire tale at the very beginning of
Right,
the film.
and I feel like you could have communicated that was. I thought that when I first saw that part, I thought that was going to be like a kid that grows up to be like one of the main characters
Oh
in the
my!
movie, and then
You
Which
were
made
so,
would have
you
made a
were
lot of sense,
So
yeah.
wrong, Thea.
that would have made more sense to me.
Yeah, you were
it's
so
like,
wrong.
okay, well then all of them grow up with this story and they know it,
yeah,
No.
there's
rather than just they just draw the conclusions.
so Hal
I
Holbrook
don't know.
plays Father Hardbone. Excuse me, Father Malone. He's this priest that is a drunkard, and he almost gets cracked over the head with like something from a piece of rock falls off and like almost hits him in the head while he's drinking.
It's a book
And he
from his
finds
grandpa.
he finds either a ledger or it's a diary. What does a manly man write? Not
A ledger.
diary, right?
It's a diary.
It's a ledger, right?
No, a ledger. A diary is
really
for teenage girls.
Beautiful.
A diary
family
is for Anne
diary.
Frank. A ledger is for Father Malone.
Oh fuck you.
So Father Malone reads this ledger, and he sees that the founding priest of this sect of this religion, church, stole all the good coins from these guys and
And that
just
was his
let them
grandpa.
die. Yes. So what happens now is obviously
Conspirators.
why on the first night they only stayed for they could only last
Yeah, I
1
don't
hour
get it.
out or something like
I
that?
didn't-
Yeah, they really didn't have an explanation. They made it seem like they would only exist for 1 hour, and then it just kept going.
I did.
There was an explanation that the conspirators met between 12 and 1, and that's fine.
Oh, I see.
But it didn't make sense that they met or that things occurred the night before, unless I guess it was just like one of those spooky things where it's like, well, the night before, like the proper night, it like sort of bled over, so you got like a little bit of a tease of like car alarms going off for no reason.
Yeah,
Right.
something tells me maybe that
Clocks
was
changing.
reworked in the edit of the film or something. Like they just decided to put that in the middle so they can have some sort of horror stuff.
was
It just seemed like
Unnecessary.
random. I was honestly like, as I was watching it, I
It
was
was
like,
like-
why is this so classic? I don't understand.
Well,
They
it
were
was
very-
cool, except for they had no explanation for it, so then it became less cool.
Yeah.
They were
know what I mean?
they were very polite to at least knock on the doors before they shoved the sword up your ass.
That's
Yeah.
To them. I will say this. You know,
Like,
I like the
hello?
concept of it.
Yeah.
It's because it's a very simple concept. It's a fucking fog that comes out, and these people come out of the fog, which I think is great.
It's
I-
very
I had-
classic ghost story.
Right. And the brutality of them is pretty awesome, too, because it's not a hard, gory film.
Yeah, hooking
but
you
just,
right
No.
up your butts.
Just the way that
Yeah.
they stab at people
Or
is
your
pretty
eyeballs.
brutal. Like, I thought that was pretty, like, and I was like, Jesus, like, they were just stabbing the shit out of them like a street fight or something. It wasn't like one stab and then that was it. They kept gutting people, which I thought was pretty awesome
Yeah.
for this type of film that's not actually very bloody. So the first couple of victims are these guys on this little schooner, unless it's a sailboat. What is it,
Schooner.
like from or fishing boat?
No, I like the word
I don't
schooner
fucking
better.
know,
Let's
man.
call it that.
I got that from Mallrats, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Boat.
Anyway, so these guys are killed. We're introduced to Tom Atkins, who was obviously the cop from Night of the Creeps. He looks like a live action Fred Flintstone with a mustache, and
He's also from Halloween 3.
he was in Halloween 3. Oh yes, he was
Yeah.
in Halloween 3. Yes,
Yes, he is.
yes, he was great. Now I love Halloween 3. A lot of people hate that movie.
Yeah,
but I
me
love
too.
that movie.
That was the one with the masks,
Have we
right?
done that movie? Because we should do that.
Well,
movie.
Danny
Yeah,
and
we
I
did do
so
it.
the more-
That's the one with the
more
weird
people
Damn
masks
it.
and shit, right?
Fine. Then.
I like. Do you think we all like Halloween 3 because we're contrarians or something?
No, it's a good movie.
I mean,
I think it's because when that movie came out, it was
Hated,
largely like disliked because it was not what 1 and 2 were. And
This
that's
doesn't feature
whatever.
a silent man standing there.
It's not a Halloween movie to the people that love Halloween 1 and 2.
This movie doesn't feature a man in a mask.
what do you
I
think
can't
are?
handle it.
Right. But it
What do
also
you think
does
of John
feature men in
Carpenter's
masks,
sort of
so it's
strengths
fine.
in this film? Because this movie features all of his sort of visual strengths as a director.
And his musical strength, actually.
Oh yeah, I was trying to. It was weird because it said
Yeah.
score by music by John Carpenter, but electronically realized by another guy, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Like,
It's
didn't
the
play it.
gremlin from
Oh,
Gremlins
okay.
2 that
Yeah.
becomes
He
electric.
composed it, but he didn't play it.
yeah, it's got a great theme. Every shot of it is so good. Like, because he doesn't really do handheld in his film. He does a
No.
lot of static shots, but he's
Or
very
like
good.
pans and zooms.
Like this film has like so much such a great amount of atmosphere and static shots of the streets and stuff like that.
Literally atmosphere.
And I don't
A lot of
know
fog.
who. I can't imagine that working on that fucking lighthouse, having to go down that hill. I would shit bricks going down that.
When I watched her going down those stairs, I was literally like, that is my full-on nightmare, and I could not do it. I would
couldn't either.
cry.
It seemed awesome.
I would literally cartwheel over the side of it because I couldn't control myself.
I'd be like,
but
bye, I'm just going to die instead.
I would actually like love.
you know,
that
she
shit.
was like
That'd be
walking
really
down
cool.
that thing. Was like, John, I'm not fucking you tonight because
I
of this. Like, she was
can't.
totally pissed.
That's my...
But
Ugh.
Or maybe that was
Yeah.
her. Maybe that was the only reason she did it. He's at the bottom with his dick in his hand, just like goading her on.
No, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth dying. I'm sorry. If you take
he
one
had-
wrong step, you're dead.
he,
I
John
would- no, I would
Carpenter
do
was
it.
at the bottom of there, but he had his keyboard out and he was playing it with his dick. That's what he was doing.
Right.
She was
He's
like,
wearing
well, I
a
guess that's
holiday-
impressive. I'll do that. That's fine.
But do you guys think what are the bad aspects of this film for you? What did you guys think didn't work?
Denny.
The script. The script was like
It does.
had
It
like a
makes a lot of
million
weird
gaps
jumps.
in it. Yeah, there were like all these weird jumps. Characters were coming to conclusions that they can't possibly come
Who
to.
came to a
like,
conclusion
it
that
just-
was bad? Well,
Sleeping
Like,
with the
it's just, like,
guy
the
that
amount
you
of,
just
like-
gotten hitchhiked from.
No, like they knew. They
people
knew what
did that in
was
the
up,
70s.
That's
and
fair.
80s.
Yeah, that's fair. It was just
but they
weird.
knew what was up long before they should, and like the lady that kept insisting upon having a party even though her husband just died and like everything is wrong. It was just like kind of silly.
Yeah.
It reminded
And,
it
like,
reminded me
all
of The
over the place.
Simpsons when they found out that Jebediah Springfield was like a pirate and they wouldn't tell
Mm-hmm.
the town because. All right. Anyway,
No, that's
it
fair.
was like the only thing that
Agreed.
pissed me off was like it was only the last 20 minutes where we see the full-on fog assault. Like, and I think the
Right.
fog was
Right.
only played by 3 actors, which makes it really cheap because it was like the movie was only like $1 million budget, so I guess they couldn't have a lot of
Right.
fog guys. But I wish there was more with them because I mean they had a whole scene with a crowd of people. Like you would
I
think.
mean, you could barely even see them, so it's like they might as well get like Jamie Lee Curtis to be one of
Yeah,
the.
Right.
well,
You just have
I
somebody
really
step
thought
in.
that when they had the townsfolk assembled for like the meeting or whatever,
Yeah, you'd think that's
actual
like the
thing,
payoff, right?
I thought that was going to be the time where it's like, okay, well, that's when the fog descends and that's when everything's
Yeah,
good.
And
it was
kills
a very.
everybody,
It
right.
felt very anticlimactic, and then
Right.
the very, very ending was just like, let's just have this happen now. Like it just felt like
cross
We'll
that.
give them a
was-
gold
okay,
cross and that's it.
Can we talk about the gold cross? Because that just in general to me didn't seem like a thing that would happen. It's
Yeah,
kinda
because
like you stole the gold from all of your co-conspirators, and then instead of like investing it into the church or whatever you were going to do with it, you just boiled it down into a cross and put it in a wall for 200 years or 100 years. Why?
Right.
Yeah, because it seems like it was a MacGuffin that came out in the 3rd act of the film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because a MacGuffin,
Yeah.
usually they'll talk about it throughout a whole film. And
It was
then
like, well,
you'll
this will
see
solve it. Yeah.
Like, Danny, a MacGuffin.
Why did the gold change into wood? That was a little confusing.
Yeah, it didn't. It was because like, oh, we're
Alchemy.
Make this thing that
Oh.
they find. I don't know. It didn't make any sense.
Is that alchemy for gold?
No, I think
to
it's
change
backwards,
into
actually.
wood?
It's wood turning into gold is alchemy. It is, apparently, to people.
What it is nonsense.
I did like...
Yeah, it's kind of like weak writing.
Yeah.
Rob Bottin plays that main pirate or leper man at the end, which looks fucking awesome because he has like those glowing eyeballs.
Yeah. It was
Like he
cool.
looks great.
Yeah.
Rob Bottin, like I've always heard his name like accompanying like special effects in films, but I'm trying to think. I guess he's more of a makeup guy than a special effects guy. Because on special effects, I think he did RoboCop 3. Oh, Deep Rising. Okay, never mind. I forgive him.
RoboCop 3 is a great movie. Everybody hates it.
Yeah, okay. Deep Rising is fantastic. That's a fantastic
Is that
movie.
the shark one?
No, it's like these giant parasites that get onto this cruise ship and they start eating people. It's like awesome. It's just so fucking good. But he did a lot of makeup stuff. He
Okay.
did on Seven, Bugsy, Total Recall. Oh, okay, good for him. He is on good stuff.
Total Recall. Oh, Total Recall is amazing.
He worked on Legend. Okay, cool. All right, so
Okay.
he knows what he's doing. The Thing as well. Okay, so that's why. But he plays the
Yep.
main zombie, and that's probably why he looks so fucking awesome as a zombie. And that's all. That's even his profile picture on IMDb. But yeah, I think that they keep it to the last 20 minutes of the film. There's no real sort of gory super action going at the end. With like the lepers going around and just pulling people into the fog would have been great. But obviously the budget showed. And I'm trying to figure out what the original version of the film was that my friend said that it sucked so bad that they had to come back and reshoot stuff. Tom Atkins is fine. He's fun in these type of films, but they didn't really use him to his sort of full potential in this type of movie.
He needs to have more old man chest. Like
His chest hair is just hanging out of the thing.
he wasn't old enough yet. Like to see him nude, it didn't pay off as well. Like I wanted to see him nude with gray chest hair.
Okay, so this is Adrienne Barbeau's first film.
Danny, I just want to see him nude.
I just want to see Tom Atkins nude.
Fair.
Kurt Russell was offered a role. I wonder what he would have done in this movie.
I wish he had played. I wish he had played the like guy that sleeps with Jamie Lee Curtis role, because I feel like that would have been more.
Imagine
convincing.
He's Jamie Lee Curtis's role.
Well, you know,
Tom Atkins is still
girls,
in it.
listen,
Or
girls
Jamie
fuck
Lee Curtis's role.
Girls
That's
fuck
interesting.
ugly guys all the time, Thea. Me and Danny are proof of that.
Especially when
ugly is not a
they
problem,
drive trucks.
But he was like 30 years older than her. It looked like. I was like,
Oh,
okay.
hey, Dan O'Bannon was actually in this movie as an
Too
actor.
much.
Ooh. That's good.
Oh wait,
See, Danny
no,
fucked
never
up
mind,
already.
never mind.
What a jack-
There was a character
Wait, so
named
what?
Dan O'Bannon.
Deborah Hill, who is she?
Oh,
Is
no.
she always working on Carpenter's films? Yeah, she did. She produced
Yeah.
all of Carpenter's films. Oh, no wonder everything sucks, because she passed away in 2005.
Can I just put this
Sorry.
out there? Did anybody get like a slightly? This is gonna be me. But did anybody get a slightly gay vibe from the like lady running the whatever events and her assistant?
The old lady.
Yes. No, I didn't actually.
I got
Come
like
on.
a slightly like annoying. I hope.
Are
she
you
dies vibe.
shipping? Is that what you were doing in the
shipping
movie?
them. Yeah, I'm shipping them.
You think she has that sort? Who's that lady from American Horror Story that's dating a old lady?
Sarah Paulson.
I don't know.
Sarah Paulson's dating that really old woman. Like,
Holland
you think it's sort
Taylor.
of that thing in this movie? What?
Is
Yeah, I
Sarah
know their
Paulson's
fucking
dating an old
names
lady?
because they're gay, you motherfucker.
I don't know. What the fuck you want me to know? I don't know every fucking Puerto Rican in a movie. Jesus Christ.
Okay, well, I know a lot of gays.
Okay, I know it's very important to you. I
It's
apologize.
important to me.
You should write the
But
sequel
also,
with.
it's mostly because I love Sarah Paulson, and
You should write the sequel with them two, like the lady, and then call it "Get the Fog Out of Here."
Oh yeah, she's dating.
Hey, that
she
was
is
funny.
dating
Ah, fuck
someone.
you.
She is dating someone older.
No shit,
job,
Danny. That's why I
Danny.
said you thought I was full of shit. Get out of here, jeez.
Holland
Danny.
Taylor.
How come
you don't know the name, Alex?
What
I
was she?
literally
Oh, she
said
was the
Holland
mother on
Taylor
that.
5 minutes ago.
She was on that Charlie Sheen show, right? The
Holy
She was
shit,
the mom.
she's 75.
Yeah, I know.
yeah, she's looking that old junk.
All right.
I didn't go there, and I would never
Yeah,
go
how-
there.
I know,
'cause
Danny, you're
respect-
respectful.
Okay,
and
let's
Alex is not.
Thea.
I
Let's
respect
say
women.
Thea. Let's say you're not with your life partner, your
Oh, boy.
beautiful, lovely life partner right now. Let's say you had a choice to. Now, I don't want to get you in trouble because I would say, would you
Okay.
bang an old hag an old lady like
Yes.
that? Would you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you? What about Cloris Leachman?
Cloris Leachman in a fucking second though, actually, because it's
Cloris Leachman dressed as Phyllis
I don't
from
even.
Mary
I
Tyler
don't even
Moore.
care because it's Cloris Leachman. I love
Okay.
her.
Peggy Bundy.
Okay, I would do Cloris Leachman too.
I think
actually.
all,
Peggy Bundy would too. Yeah.
Peggy Bundy would
Peggy
get it from
Bundy,
all of
absolutely.
us. Yes,
Yeah,
from all of
for
us.
sure, because she's fucking.
Yeah, Peggy Bundy's great.
Yeah.
Who's the lady? I just named her in the Critters episode. The woman,
Bitch,
the
you
black
can't-
woman.
You can't name.
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett.
100%.
Yeah.
Oof, ma.
You can't
she-
name a woman old enough that I would not do. I'm sorry.
Really? Barbara Bush.
Really. Okay, well, I'm sorry. A woman that I would be attracted to.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Queen Elizabeth.
I'm talking like.
Queen Latifah.
She's
Are you
not-
kidding me?
Thea's a
Queen Latifah
racist.
in a minute.
Oh, okay, she's not a racist. Good for you, Thea.
Queen
I
Latifah
appreciate
in
it.
a fucking like in a heartbeat.
Yeah, Queen Latifah.
What
looks like
about
she would
Mother
totally-
Abigail from The Stand?
Who?
Mother Abigail from The Stand.
Wait, what? Is she alive?
That was a good one. All right. Anyway,
Okay, wait, I
this
have
is
to
good.
look up if she's live.
No, she's a fictional character from the book
No,
The
I know,
Stand.
but
Well,
the
I'm thinking, in
actress,
the
ding
show.
Oh, the actress? No, she's dead. She has to be dead at this point.
Okay, well,
They
fuck
could
her.
have had a younger actress, play her too, right? Anyway, so
Her too.
who was that lady from The Stand with the big knockers and the giant eyebrows? Oh, she was hot too.
Oh,
She was.
Oh, she was Nadine Cross. I don't
Yeah.
remember that.
Okay,
Anyway.
well, Nadine Cross is hot in the book.
Yeah, she's not in the book, not so much in the movie.
It's those big eyebrows. She had gigantic.
No, I
anyway,
like a big eyebrow because I have a big eyebrow, but still.
Quick, Danny, who was the better Man in Black? The guy from the Stand show, or was it Matthew McConaughey?
Definitely the Stand show.
Have you seen Thea? Did you see Dark Tower yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Yo, Thea.
It bums me out thinking about it.
Thea,
No,
Danny.
you just need to watch. You've read the books, right? You
Yeah,
read them
I've
all,
read
right?
the books.
Yo, dude, you just gotta watch the
Thea, the
movie.
finale,
Do
the
I?
final
He
scene.
made me watch it in. Did we watch it in theater or we watched
No,
it?
I would have killed myself. I almost like there's a scene with the Man in Black fighting Roland, and I almost
Where he pulls his arms out like a bird.
like he's doing a Madonna dance. I almost vomited. I was laughing so hard at how bad that scene was. It's the antithesis of what Stephen King wrote in the film. It's an abortion on screen. Anyway,
Okay, look, I'm
back to the
just gonna
fog.
say this right here. Stephen King is. I love him, but he's not like perfect. But even that,
well, he didn't make the film, so
But
that's
I
fine.
still can't deal with that movie. I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever watch that movie.
No,
We'll see what
Thea.
it is.
Look, I've read the Dark Tower
Yeah.
series like 5
And you
times.
think
Unfortunately,
through.
so
Do
did
you think
I.
I should watch that movie?
I watched the movie. It was so horrible that it's like one of those. It's like watching like a volcano erupt. Or
Like
something.
Thea, if
have to
you
watch
obviously
it.
have a sense of
Like
humor
a
like we
Dante's
do.
Peak? What?
You have a sense of humor like we do, where you find like humor in horrible things. Maybe?
Yes,
I'm not sure.
I do.
So I think you'd watch that, but you would have a tinge of like real horror watching it. It'll be one of those things where you're like, oh my god, like watching it's terrible.
Every choice they made.
But
was
here's
the
the thing:
wrong
do I
choice.
let my girlfriend who hasn't read the books watch it with me, or do I
Yes,
just watch
yeah,
it
yeah.
alone?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You and her
it
will-
won't ruin anything.
You
for
and her will come to the same conclusion that it sucks dick. That
It has literally
But what if I
nothing to
want her
do
to
with the
eventually?
books.
No, she's never gonna read it. It's fine. Don't
She
worry
gonna
about
read
It
it.
has
Listen,
nothing to do with the books.
as a person who read those books, I wouldn't tell her to
Hey!
read that shit either.
Hey, fuck you.
That movie's that fucking-
But she
Have
fully
her-
wouldn't
you know
read
what?
it because
Actually,
Tell her-
yeah,
no.
this will be an interesting experiment to see what a person who hasn't read the books thinks of the movie. If they can even figure out what the plot is.
I am
'Cause
very
I am confident
genuinely
that no one
interested.
could figure out what is
Thea,
going on.
I would
in that
literally
movie.
tell your girlfriend. I would tell her to read the first 4 books, and then you just tell her the ending of the series, so she doesn't have to read those last fucking 4 books, horrible books. The first 4 books
I
are
still
great.
like
Let's talk
them.
about the
I
fog.
don't know. I still like
Okay.
them. 'cause
We should
I'm
talk about the
lame.
fog.
Well, speaking of Stephen King, who had a movie
Fog.
directed by John Carpenter, Back to the Fog. You like that, guys?
Well,
I thought it's a decent film. I think it suffers from nothing going on, but it has great atmosphere. It has some spooky shit going on. But Carpenter, for some reason, on some of his films, he just can't pull it off. And this is sort of, to me, closer to Prince of Darkness, where it
Yeah,
has a
that's
lot
fair.
of potential, but it sort of shits itself.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me, too, of like the homeless people outside of the house. Sort of reminded me of the fog people in here. So it
Right.
sort of has that...
Actually.
It has that unfulfilled I to me, but I actually think I like it more than the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
But it could have had a lot of work done to it to
Prince
fix
of
it.
Darkness was like a decent movie to me.
It's
Yeah, that's what I thought so,
okay,
too.
But the problem with Prince of Darkness is they trap them in a single location, and then just things happen.
Do nothing, yeah. And that
And do nothing
acting,
with
Yeah,
it.
but at least there's a
Which
body
is kind
count.
of what they which is kind of what they do with this movie, which is like they trap them in a location in the last 20 minutes, and it's like figure stuff out, and it just
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
as effective as it could be.
and for some reason, people stood next to the windows, even though the creatures were reaching
Yeah,
through them. That woman got
doesn't
caught
make
twice next to the window. I was
sense.
like, you'd learn, right?
She's
You'd be
very
like, you know.
dumb.
Right.
That's what happens. That's what happened
Yeah.
when she wasn't there with her gilf girlfriend.
very dumb. Yeah.
So with that, what rating would you give this film, Thea?
I would give it 7 out of 10 dead guy conspirator knowledge out of 10. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Look at you.
It was fun. Yeah.
I would give this a 6 out of 10. A movie that has such lame writing, you invent lesbian relationships between a younger and older woman.
Always.
I'm going to give this
Always I want to
7 out
be
of
with
10,
you and take-
missing the premise. 7 out of 10, missing the entire premise that these people are lepers and convincing yourself that they're pirates.
Literally.
Fabulous.
How did you miss
Fabulous,
that?
fabulous. Or with that, Thea, what's the final word?
Traditional.
With that, Danny, what's the final word?
The broth of matzo ball soup.